Hello everyone, this is Candy the 614 Stitcher, and today is Wednesday, December the 24th, 2025. This is my Flosstube episode 153. I would like to say hello and welcome to any and all new subscribers, or even if you are just checking out my channel for the first or second time. I thank you so very much and ask that you would hit the like or subscribe button so that you can get weekly updates when I record, so that I can influence you and enable you to grab a project or two. And to my returning friends, thank you so very much for coming back each and every time I do upload a video. I would like to start off by saying Merry Christmas to everyone. I do celebrate Christmas, although I don't decorate or do anything. But I would like to say Merry Christmas to all of you as we celebrate the holidays. I did not get a chance to send out cards this year, so it's been a whirlwind for me, but I am very thankful for all of you that did send cards to me. I was on vacation last week, and so I didn't really do a whole lot. I stitched a lot, and I went to go visit Keepsakes on Saturday and spent the day with the ladies down there. So, all in all, it was a week of me just resting and getting some personal things done. So, I'm going to start off by showing the Christmas cards that I did get so far, and this card came from Lynn. X Stitches Creates. Thank you so very much, Lynn. She is a huge Peanuts fan, and so all of her cards always have peanut as a peanut theme on it, and so I really appreciate you sending that. The next card that I received is from Georgia Girl Stitching, Megan and her family. Thank you so very much, Megan, for sending me a Christmas card. And the next one is from my friend Doris. Thank you so very much, Doris, for sending me a card. All of the cards that I have received this year have really helped lighten my mood going into the holidays. So for this week, I don't think it'll be a very long video. I have a couple of starts, some whips. I actually have 2 finishes in my plans for the next couple of days, and then you can go to your next Flosstuber or enjoy some eggnog and get on with your holiday. So we're going to start off with the start. So on December the 18th, I started a sampler for Celie, and this is by Shaded Stitchery. It is based on the movie The Color Purple, which I started on December the 18th, which was the 40th anniversary of the film being released. And so it was very important for me to start it on that day. I am stitching this on, and here's where I did get to. So here's where I did get to. This is the side and the top, and then starts out the alphabet. For anyone who has seen and or read the book Color Purple, it's a masterpiece. But she learned how to read and write. Her sister helped her learn how to read and write and learn her ABCs. And so that's what this chart goes through. It goes through her life, Celie's life as a young girl and a woman. I am stitching this on a 40 count Dusk by Live and Die LA, and I am using the called for DMC threads for this project. It is by Shaded Stitchery, and I will have her Gumroad's link down in the description box below. And I thought I think I added 300. So this, I thought I had it written down on my page, but I didn't. I added 466 stitches for this new start. So that's where I am with this. I will be picking this up again, but probably not until February. But I will be picking it up again. But again, it is a very wonderful chart, very easy to read. I have it downloaded onto my tablet, so that was my first start for this time. And then I had another start. I started at Keepsakes when I was there. And for those of you that are new to my channel, I am big on snowmen. I love snowmen and snowflakes. And so I started the 2023 Snowman by Primrose Cottage Stitches. And I am stitching this on sorry, I thought I was all prepared and everything. And here's where I did get to. So this is the outline, this is the tree, and then the outline of the border that he is in. And so this side and up and around. For this project, I did not put down any of the, for this project, I put in 317 stitches. Also, if you are new to my channel, for me, a new start is at least 200 stitches on the project. So I got in a lot of good work on this project. It is a small, so I don't know when or how long it'll take for me to get it finished, but you know, it's nice. I am not using the called for DMC for this. I have decided that I'll be using Sulky, so I am using the Sulky, a Sulky conversion that I'm coming up with. I'm just matching the DMC back to the Sulky. And that is where that is right now. I'm actually thinking that I might figure out a way to put this on my Bringo board. And maybe I can have it finished in January. Maybe. We'll see. Okay, so those were my two starts for this time. Now I'm going to go on and move to whips. So for Gridiron Grind, my team... Okay, for Gridiron Grind, I did the college and the professional teams. The college team that I put stitches in for was the Ohio State University, because I live in Columbus, Ohio. And my professional team is the Pittsburgh Steelers. As it turns out, Ohio State did get into a bowl game, so I will be picking up a project. Nothing that, like, I'm not going to start anything new. I'm going to pick up a whip. They actually play on December the 31st at 7:30 at night. So I'm just going to pick up a whip, and whatever whip that I work on for that day, I'll put the stitches in for Ohio State. So you'll see that in January when I film again. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, they played on... I have 2 weeks worth of stitching for them. So on December the 15th, they played the Dolphins and won 28-15. And then this past Sunday, they played the Lions and won 29-24. So I put in a total of, and I bet you I didn't write it down. Nope. So 280 and 290, and that added some more black. So I brought the black down here, and then I came back up and started putting in black here. I primarily only have black stitching left to do. Within this circle here, there's white. Other than that, it's all done. So the white stitches need to be put in for this, and then the rest of it is all black before it gets done. The season is the regular season. The last game is on January the 4th, which happens to be my birthday. Right now, they are #1 in the AFC, and so I'm going to just keep stitching the black. With the playoff games, when they make it, they are in the playoffs, and so I will be stitching this until they go to the Super Bowl. Positive thinking right there. Until they go to the Super Bowl, and then I'll keep stitching. As long as they are playing, this is the piece that I'm going to be stitching on. I am stitching this on, my cards keep falling out of my bags. I need to remember. I'm stitching this on a 32 count stone hinge by Color and Cotton, and I am using the called for DMC. This chart came from Cross 3T's store on Etsy. So if you are looking for a football helmet, they had several. This wasn't the only one that they had, but all I have left now to do is finish, putting in the black. There's a lot of black still to be put in, and then finish off this white. So I'll be working on this. They do play on Sunday again, I'm pretty sure. Sorry. Yes, they play on the 28th, and they play the Browns. So there's actually 2 more regular season games, the 28th and the 4th. So I will be adding more stitches to my Steelers helmet. I have really enjoyed Gridiron Grind. I will definitely be doing it again next year. It has been really fun to see, because I started this project at the beginning of the regular season, and if I had my act together, I would have been able to do it preseason. But I have really enjoyed that project. So that was 570 stitches for the 2-week period. I'm going to have to come up with something really good for next season. I know most people are doing full coverage, so I don't know what I might do. I'm not sure that I'll want to do the full coverage thing. I've really enjoyed doing the helmet, and I know most people are all doing full coverage on theirs. I just don't know that I want to pull out Purple Rain every week and put stitches in it like that, but we'll see. My next whip is for Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge, which is run by Carolyn Zook and Robin Brown, I think. I'm sorry, Robin. It just flew out of my head. And it's the W for the acrostic worm. And my W is Women of Honor by Rebel Stitcher Designs. And here's a picture of what it looked like the last time I shared it with you. and here is where it is now. So I completed this leaf here, and I brought both the top border and the side border down some more. I added 300 stitches to this project. My project goal for Magazine Monthly is 200 stitches per project, so I added 300 to this project. This was a project that had been in hibernation because I didn't take it to North Carolina with me, but I pulled it out for the acrostic. So that is where we are now. I still have quite a bit of ways to go. I'm actually going to talk to some people. The names that are listed, I still want to go with those names, with the exception of the top name. It's Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and I want to put my mom's name at the top. So I'm trying to figure out a way to be able to do that. So I just need to get some advice on it, but that's where I am on Women of Honor. The next whip that I worked on was for Whip Go, and the Whip Go was the letter E for my number 1 is the letter E, and my letter E stands for Christmas Elf Fairy by Mirabilia. And here it is. Now mine's will not, like I did a skin conversion, a hair conversion, and here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is where she is now. So I am stitching her on a 32 count Seraphim Sand Dune, and I am using a floss silk conversion that was gifted to me by Miss Susan Coates. And so I actually worked more on the wings. So there is an error here somewhere in this part of the wing, so I left it. And then I started up this side. I added another 139 stitches to get my 500 stitches in for my Whip Go. So that is where I am now. The holes you see are for the beads that will go into the project. So I still have, I am putting this project, I think. It's not showing on my year of whips, but I think I'm going to put this on my year of whips. I still have the wings left, her hat, the Christmas tree, her hand, the rest of her hair, and all the beads. So I don't know if I'm going to, now that I say that like that, I don't know if I can. It doesn't appear to me that I have that much more to go, but then when I say it out loud, it's like, oh my goodness, I have a lot more to go. Because like the wings extend out and, you know, all the beading and everything. So that's where she is. I would love to get her done in 2026. I just don't know that I actually have another large project that I put on my year of whips that is going to take quite a while. So that's my Christmas Elf Fairy. She is coming along nicely. If I could stay ahead of her and make sure that I keep my projects in the forefront, that I'm like, okay, this year as I'm doing my planning, I'm going through and like, okay, I want to finish this. I want to finish this. I want to see great progress on this. And that's how I'm going to approach my plans. I do plan on putting out a plans video. But I think sometimes I get caught up in like, oh, let me work on this, let me work on this, let me work on this. And then projects that are older seem to get pushed. Sorry, I'm distracted. Something's going on outside my window. Projects, you know, like for beading, for instance, I'm like, oh, you know, I can do that. Okay, I can do that. And then, you know, they don't get done. And so I need to like keep those projects more in the forefront rather than like pushing them to the back. But that was Christmas Elf Fairy. For Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge, again, the letter M in worm for the acrostic. And my M stands for Carolyn Manning. And Carolyn Manning stitches are very soothing to me. When I'm stressed, I go to Carolyn Manning because I can just stitch and let it go, let my thoughts go. And so this is Thistle by Carolyn Manning. This is my comfort stitch is what I call it. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is where it is now. I added 271 stitches to this project, and it is basically here and here. I have decided that I'm going to go across and then go down. I'm stitching this off of paper, and so it makes it a little bit easier for me to do it that way. It's not in markup or pattern keeper. It's, well, you saw the chart, so but that's the way that I'm going to stitch it. This is a full coverage project, so you know, I'm just, whenever I stitch on it, it gives me great comfort, and I needed that this week. I am stitching this on an 20 count. It says 20 count, but I promise you, I think it's an 18 count. Platinum, and I'm using the call for DMCs on this. And even though it looks, well, it is kind of blue. It's a bluish gray. When I stitch Carolyn Manning projects, I try to go for a fabric that is more neutral, not white, so that you don't see a lot, especially since I do them on an 18 or 20 count. I promise, I think that's an 18 count. And I could count it out and know exactly what it is, so the next time I pull it out, I'll do that. But it was comforting to just be able to stitch on that this week and not have to really think too much, count too much. And the way that I approached it, the Carolyn Manning projects, is if a thread is picked up, so a color, so like when I stitched this color, I stitched it here and here. And I do that as I'm going across, so, which makes it easier. So that was for the letter M in worm. And my last whip for this week is Elegant Lace. And it is by Works by ABC. It is the 2025-26 year salve for EJ of the Sunshine Stitchers. We chose this chart, and then she divided it up, and we will be stitching it from December the 14th, 2025. We started. It is not too late. Please jump in and start with us. It is fun, and then it'll go through December of 2026. So that is what it looks like. Here's a picture of where I was the last time I shared it with you. And here is where I am now. So I worked on this again last night, and I filled in the roses right here. And then I brought this edge down again. And I worked a little bit over here. I still have more to do. Hey, man. I still have more to do here to meet this month's section. And I have not put in the half stitches yet. I am stitching this on a 40 count Verdal Huckleberry by Be Stitch Me, and I am using Vintage Purple by Hand Dye by Rolanda. She is in Canada. I picked that floss up when I was at Stitch North 2 years ago. So that is where I am on Elegant Lace. You'll see this often because I want to stay on track with where it goes, with how the stitching goes. And I believe my way to attack this is like what I did with Put a Bird on It, is do the first 3 days of the month and put in at least 1,000 stitches so that I can stay caught up with it. Especially with some of the travel that I have coming up for 2026. So that's where I am for Elegant Lace. Albert, what are you doing, man? Ta-da! So that's where I am on Elegant Lace. I added 305 additional stitches to that yesterday. I don't know why this is not fitting in here right. So again, please join us. We just got started with it. You know, you can jump in at any time. We do have a first Friday Zoom chat that we all get together and show our progress and stitch on it. We would love to have you join us in this endeavor. So now on to finishes. I have 2 finishes this week. On the 16th of December, I was bound and determined to finish Colors of the Season Autumn. This is also a Carolyn Manning project. And I finished it with 347 stitches. This is very autumnal. I'm going to make these into little pillows, I think. So that was my first finish. And then on the first day of winter, I added 384 stitches and finished Colors of the Season Winter by Carolyn Manning. So I have had a series completion for these seasons, for all 4 seasons, and I am ecstatic. So that is where I am with those, and they will be fully finished in the coming months. I'm going to get on the bandwagon and get some finishing done so that I can display some things. I have a ton of stuff that just needs to be finished, and I can put it out. So alrighty, so those were my whips and my finishes for this time. I am currently at 24 finishes for the year. I have one more project that I really want to get finished, and I'm going to be working on that so that I can have 25 finishes in 2025. That is fabulous and so unexpected to me. I I didn't know that I was at 24, but Notions thankfully keeps track of it for me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got one more to finish. And as it turns out, I actually do have one more project that I want to finish before the end of the year. And so I'll be working on that for the next 6 days to get it finished, because I want to get it finished so bad. My plans for this coming up week. Tonight, I am supposed to start Christmas Tiny Town by Heart and Hand. And then that's my Christmas Eve start. I don't know that I'm going to do this. I don't know. It's all going to depend on editing and finding fabric, because of course I haven't kitted it up or anything. So tonight I wanted to start Christmas Tiny Town. And then tomorrow, I want to start Nativity Tiny Town for the holiday season. I still need to put in I need to work on Winter Quaker. It is I don't think it's in any of the acrostics, but it's it is. It is the R in the word worm for the Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge for Rosewood Manor. So I need to put 200 stitches in that before the end of the month, so that I can make sure all of my monthly goals are completed. So that's where I stand with that. So I need to do Winter Quaker, Nativity Tiny Town, Christmas Tiny Town, and Sunflower Fairy is the last project that I want to finish for 2025. And I just need to put her beads on, which there are a lot of beads, but I need to put her beads on and she'll be finished. So when I come back to you next time, I should have one more finish, which would be awesome. So the last thing I'm going to share with you is I did, of course, go to Keepsakes, and I picked up the Belsois tulip that I needed for Cozy Christmas Cottage, which is by Modern Folk Embroidery. I picked up the Valdani this is for Flower Quakers that I was gifted. So I picked up the Valdani for that. I don't know when I'm going to start it, but whenever I start it, I want to have the Valdani. Now I need to find fabric for it, which will not be a problem because I have plenty of fabric. I have seen this chart. I have seen, actually what drew me to it is when I was at Keepsakes, Miss Susan has done a conversion. And if you are new here, I like frogs, turtles, and butterflies. And so Miss Susan did a conversion on her dress, and it's purple. And so I bought this with the thought that I'm going to stitch Lily, that's her name, Lily, with a purple dress and have me a little frog. And this calls for a 36 count. I'm going to see about doing her on a smaller count than that so that she'll be like maybe that big instead of as big as she is. But there's that. And then I found one more. I love My Big Toe projects also. They are very inspirational. And so I saw this one and I don't think that I have it. So it's called Take Each Day One Stitch at a Time. And so I really like that a lot. So I'm going to, this may be in my May, Mental Health May starts for this coming year. And that is, my friends, all of my, they didn't give a 28 count, which I won't stitch on 28 count. They stitched on a 28 count Queen Anne's lace, but I won't stitch it on a 28 count. I might stitch it on a 40 count. I don't have a lot of room for big pieces, and I don't hang things on the walls because my house is old. And so I don't normally hang things on the wall because of lath and plaster, and I can't use command hooks because when it gets cold, the command hooks don't stick. When it gets hot, the command hooks don't stick, so I don't put things on the walls either. And then the last thing, I did receive my floss fix from the Fat Quarter Shop, and this is a Ruby Slipper, Sassy Brass, Sea Oat, Sea Shelia, Secondhand Rose, and Secret Garden. So they have moved to the S's. And this is the December club. So they have moved to the S's. And so I'm not sure how much longer I'll be in that club because I will have all of the flosses once they get to the Z. So again, I would like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'm not sure if you'll see a regular Flosstube before the New Year, since it's just next week. But I will be, again, putting out a plans video and a whip parade, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so very much for joining me, and I will see you soon. Bye.